Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Larilyn with House of Akoti. Welcome. For those of you that are new, this channel is all about sewing, sometimes embroidery. I haven't been doing quite a bit of that on the channel lately, and also pattern making. So follow me on this sewing journey, something that I'm doing as I plan for my retirement hobby/career. I've been doing it now for about 6 years. So what I'm doing today, if you've been watching my other videos over the last couple of weeks, I've been sewing loungewear and dresses, things that are just really comfortable that I could wear for my upcoming total hip replacement, of which I'll be having on tomorrow. So let me share with you the last piece of my hip surgery wardrobe. So what I have here on the cutting table is just this cute little lime green cami. It's made of a pique material. It's like just like a woven cotton, just very, very lightweight and cool. I have this already sewn up, and these are the lounge pants. I did not do pockets on these. I kind of ran out of time. And look at that cute little hand tag, guys. House of Akoti. Isn't that just darling? And I did go ahead and finish most of this with my serger, but it became unthreaded and I had to go out of town. And you know how that goes with the sergers. But for those of you that don't have a serger, you know, you could just use a zigzag. The zigzag function on your sewing machine, you know, this is just for me. It's not like I'm sewing it for a client. So I just had to zigzag some of the cami to finish that off. So now that I have those two pieces finished, I'm now going to move over to the straps that I have cut. And these are going to be for the actual shoulder straps. You're going to need 4 pieces for these. And these will actually be sewn into this area here that I've left open. So I'm going to use them actually as ties. I won't connect them. They'll just be tied together from the front to the back. So I need 4 pieces. And this is what one of those straps will look like. Okay, so starting with the first strap. So I have this piece, and let's measure it. It just depends on your preference of how, you know, how long you want it to be or how short you want it to be. Technically just measuring to get the actual measurement of where the cami stops about here, all the way, you know, to the back. This area back here is kind of hard for me to reach, but this area, you know, back here where they typically attaches in the back, you would measure, and then I'm gonna tie it together at the top, like in a bow. You could just have it where you sew it in one continuous piece, but I'm not using it for that purpose this time. So what I want to do is, once I have this strap, and it measures, about roughly 17, mine's a little shy of 17, it's about 16 7/8 by 1.5. So really, if I take, you know, the 1/2 inch seam allowance, you know, away, it leaves me about a 1 inch strap. But actually, if you think about it, when I fold this piece in, and I can kind of finger press it down, and I fold the other piece over where it meets, like in the middle, is kind of what I'm thinking, right? So that it looks like this when they meet in the middle, and then I fold it again over, right? So that probably comes to about a 1/2 inch. That comes to about a 1/2 inch. So that's basically what I'm going to end up with when it's sewn like this one. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so I have my strip, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to fold. I'm looking at the wrong side of the fabric, so I'm going to fold it over. So now to the midline, right in the middle, I'm looking at the right side of the fabric, and I can just kind of finger press as I go down, you know, because it's just a woven fabric. And what I want to do is just basically stitch along that center line. Sometimes you have to hold this thread tail on this machine. I did finally get my Bernina back, the 7 series I had to put in the shop. If you guys are watching my other video, the portion of the feed dog broke. So I did finally get that picked up. I think so heavy, I just haven't had a chance to get my husband to help me to set it back over on this side. So we're just gonna stitch all the way down, and I just I don't stretch it a whole lot, but this was cut on the bias, so it's gonna stretch. I'm just gonna continue to kind of fold to the midline. I'm gonna do that all the way to the end. So once that's done, okay, so I've sewn this one side all the way down, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna fold this side to the inside to meet the other side. And I'm just gonna stitch it all the way down. And once that's done, I'm gonna fold it over all the way down, and it stretches again because it's cut on the bias. And that's, at this point, what you can do is, if you want, you can just fold it over and just do your top stitching, you know, as long as it's neat. You just want to make sure it's neat. And this inside part, I typically do the double stitching. I typically stitch this side down and then fold it over and do my top stitching as well. But it's your preference. All right, so I'm doing that second fold over. I'm just gonna stitch all the way down. And sometimes that bottom piece tries to peek out. You just want to try to keep it as even as possible. And again, these are just for loungewear, you know, for my PJs. So if it's not 100% perfect, I don't worry about it. You know, it's not like I'm wearing it out. Or it's not for somebody else. Alright, so I've gotten that done. I just try to go back and clean up some of the little loose threads here. And these pieces. Now sometimes when I said it moves or comes apart, that's kind of what it looks like that little skip stitch there. I just go back and catch that, and I just check it all along. But again, you know, like I said, it's just a little strap for my cami. All right, so moving back over to the table. So what I'm going to do is take one of my straps, and I'm going to push it through the top of that opening here. And what I like to do is to go from the inside. I kind of turn it out, right? And then you turn your pieces out. So from the inside, you're looking at your strap from the inside. And I have that tiny little piece that kind of pokes through there. And what I like to do is to get just a pin, just one of my straight pins, to kind of hold it in place. And what you want to do, just to make sure it's nice and neat, again, if it were a cami, you know, that I were wearing, you know, out, I would be real diligent about measuring the opening, the width of the opening, because you don't want one to be really wide and another one to be, you know, really narrow. You want that to be pretty much the same. So what you can do is basically, I like to take just a ruler, my measuring tape, and my tailor's chalk, and just kind of go across to measure the opening between my stitches. And here, if my band, it's probably about 3/8 of an inch. I said a 1/2 inch. It's actually measuring about a little more, about 3/8. It's measuring more about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/16. So that's a little bit more than 3/8 of an inch, just to be exact. And I like to make a mark on each side. So if I want it to be about 5/8 of an inch, I would mark on each side of that opening to get my 5/8 of an inch mark. So if I mark here and I mark here, so you can actually see it, the blue markings, that's going to be the width of my opening, right, for each side of the strap. And I'd like to do that on each side. So I'll take the other piece, and I pushed the other one down. It doesn't really matter. You can push down, you could push up. Let's see, just to measure. So I'll put this side up against this side, and I can also measure that opening to make sure I have the same width that's kind of peeking through there. And then once that's done, once again, I hold it with a straight pin, and I go in and I measure the opening to get my 5/8 of an inch to make sure it's even on each side of my strap. So I'll mark that side, and then I will mark on this side. And sometimes you can just eyeball it as well. I can just put them, you know, together. And then when I go in, I just stitch across, and it will actually hold my strap in place. Okay, so now, since I have those straps sewn, I just want to push everything through and take a look. So this is from the underarm and the side, and those are my two straps. That's a front and that's a back. And here I can just tie it in a bow. And that depends on, you know, your circumference from, or length from the front, you know, to the back, if you're thinking of like a bra strap. So basically that's kind of what you have. That's your front neckline here in the front, right? And that's your side seam. So just really cute way to add a little detail to, you know, a cami, but it's really, really nice and quick, something quick that you could do just to add a little cute detail to it. I'm probably gonna do some embroidery, and I'll probably do another quick video if I have time today, just a cute little maybe embroidery on the front. I don't know if I'll do anything on the pants, just depending on time. So I have 2 more straps to do, and basically just follow what I did to add just a little detail to a cami.